As of October 2019, we're getting one more DLC character this year and even more to come next year. Trying to predict what characters is coming to Smash Bros. Next has become ridiculously complex. You never know what's going to be coming unless it was leaked ahead of time. So I've decided to grab a list of characters that keep getting requested consistently and try to piece together which ones could have the best chance of happening. We'll start with some of the highest requests, one of those being SORA from Kingdom Hearts. Now I've never personally played this series, but based off this poll, he is popular in all regions of the world. Now obviously this poll isn't official, but at the very least we can use it as a rough basis for predictions. SORA has a giant keyblade that he could swing around as attacks. He also has a variety of different magic, like fire, blizzard, and thunder, can use cure to heal himself, and can summon other characters for assistance. Off the bat, he's got a pretty diverse moveset and could be a fun addition to the roster. With that said, Kingdom Hearts has only been on a few Nintendo consoles, with the newest being on the 3DS. Plus, Nintendo would have to deal with Disney, and that alone would be a nightmare. Maybe this is a bit high, but I'm putting him in B tier. Then of course there's Rayman, and we can't forget the infamous fake leak that Artsy Omni made that everyone swore was real. But Rayman has had a presence in Smash already, with a trophy in Smash 4 and a Spirit in Ultimate. There's even some people that believe Rayman is trapped in this block of ice and Battlefield, but I personally think that's just an illusion. But he really would be a great character. He fits the part perfectly as a Smash character, and there's already a lot of history with Nintendo in the past. I'm gonna put him in B tier as well. So now to GENO. He was a Mii costume in Smash 4, and Sakurai has wanted GENO as a playable character since Brawl, which says a lot. GENO is technically an Ultimate as a Spirit, an online profile picture, and of course has been very heavily requested. Despite all the shouting, you'd think it would have happened by now. Square Enix must be holding something back here. But seeing as the new characters in Ultimate have this theme of being fan favorite picks like K. Rool, Ridley, and so on, I think there's actually a pretty good chance of this happening. So GENO is going right into S tier. Crash Bandicoot used to be the face of Sony back in the day, so having him in Smash Bros. Ultimate would be a huge move. He's recently made a comeback with the Insane Trilogy and CTR Nitro Fuel, and those games were not only huge hits, but also put on the Switch. The big problem here is that Sony and Activision own Crash, so the odds of them working some sort of deal together is kinda slim. I hate to say it, but a Mii costume is probably the best chance of getting Crash in the game, but I hope I'm wrong. Plus, he does have a handful of games on previous Nintendo consoles, which could increase his chances, so I'll throw him into B tier. While Master Chief has never had a game on a Nintendo console, his inclusion would be pretty legendary, seeing as he's been the face of Microsoft for years, and they had no problems bringing Banjo over to Smash, so there's a bit of a chance. Plus, there's a new Halo game coming out in the holidays of 2020 with Project Scarlet, so perhaps he could be announced as a character around that time next year. And even though he comes from Rated M games, we have Snake and Joker in Smash, so that point is pretty obsolete now. But this is also Master Chief, a much more modern character and used a lot more, while Banjo is considered more retro. For that reason alone, I feel like that'll drop his chances considerably, so let's throw him into C tier. After seeing Sans actually be in Smash Bros, I'm fairly convinced Steve from Minecraft is gonna make it in. Now I know that some of you don't take this idea seriously, but if Smash Bros is about celebrating video games, it would be a disgrace to not include Steve. He has been one of the biggest icons over the past several years, plus Minecraft has been ported over to the Switch, Wii U, and even new 3DS. He has an insane potential for an incredibly diverse moveset, and I think it makes perfect sense, so I'm putting him in S tier. Devil May Cry is a series that I haven't really dabbled with, but Dante is another character that's been getting a ton of requests. DMC 1 and 2 recently came to the Switch, so that could give him more of a chance as a character, but this is the first time DMC has ever been on a Nintendo platform. Now we have seen Dante in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which in hindsight doesn't mean much besides show what his potential moveset could be, but that does show that Capcom is okay with him being a fighter. Frankly, I'm gonna have to put him in C tier just because I feel like there's more likely candidates. Shantae is one of the highest requested indie characters for Smash Bros, and for good reason. She has a really cool design, attacks with her hair, and her games are really great. But Shovel Knight had a bigger voice, and while he made it into Smash, he's just an assist trophy. And that's definitely a huge honor for Yacht Club Games, but it'd definitely be a little bizarre to have Shantae be a playable character first before Shovel Knight. To be fair though, she does have a longer history with Nintendo, with games dating back to the Game Boy Color. Plus she's a spirit in Ultimate, has an online profile picture, and the devs have even gone out of their way to make the costume alts a few years ago. So what the heck, I'll throw her into B tier. While he wouldn't be able to spew blood like in Mortal Kombat, Scorpion is one of the biggest icons in fighter games. If they'll add Terry Bogard, why wouldn't they also add Scorpion? Ninja characters are pretty sparse too, so they could even make Sub-Zero and Echo if they really wanted. Mortal Kombat still has new games coming out, and I think he has a lot of potential, so I'm gonna put him in A tier. So I can't really say much about this now, seeing as we haven't seen the starter evolutions for Pokemon Sword and Shield yet, but it's practically a guarantee that we'll get a Gen 8 representative of some sort. This is an easy S tier. And then there's Rex from Xenoblade. He's currently a Mii costume, but Sakurai really wanted him to be an actual character, but couldn't slot him in due to time constraints. But now that he has the extra time, Rex seems very likely to happen. And if he's not in Smash Bros. Ultimate, then for sure the game following that. So of course, we're putting him in S tier. So those are the characters that I found to be the most requested. But what about Echo Fighters? We don't know if this next round of DLC is gonna have Echo Fighters or not, but in case they do, let's go through a couple. The most obvious choice is of course the Octolings. Sakurai and his team would have to do little to no work here. The only changes would be parts of the face, hairstyles, costumes, and sound bites. Seeing how much Splatoon has blown up over the past few years, this is gonna happen at some point, whether it's in Smash Bros. Ultimate or the next one, so this is easy S tier material. Here's another character that everyone thought for sure was happening, Shadow the Hedgehog. I know his fans want him to be a unique character, but I honestly feel like he's way more likely to be an Echo. He does have a diverse moveset in some previous games, but he looks so similar that I can't imagine him changing more than a few moves and that's it. But with that said, Shadow does seem pretty likely, so let's put him in A tier. And that's really it for Echoes that I feel like have some sort of chance of making it in. So now, we're going to talk about some more obscure picks. And starting with Dixie Kong. She's not really used anymore in Nintendo games besides her appearance in Tropical Freeze. She'd be a pretty fun inclusion though, as a good pair with Diddy. Heck, maybe she'd even fit better as an Echo with him. Although frankly, requests for her to be a character have died down quite a bit, so we'll put Dixie in C tier. Now, Paper Mario is a really interesting idea for a character. If you haven't played the games, you're probably rolling your eyes thinking, oh, we don't need a third Mario, but hear me out. His attacks could come right out of Paper Mario, like his signature hammer, or utilizing partners from the N64 and GameCube games, and the Star Rod could be a final smash. Despite how cool this could all be, it's really unlikely since there's already so many Mario characters, so I gotta put him in D tier, sadly. Speaking of Mario characters, Waluigi. I'm serious, they could work around this if they really wanted to. All they have to do is use the same model from the assist trophy, add some more moves, and then just automatically disable Waluigi's as an assist trophy whenever he's being played as a character. But Sakurai seems to have something against this guy. I mean, Daisy was put in the game before him. I will be stunned if he makes it in as DLC, so I'm gonna have to put him in D tier despite me actually wanting him to be playable. And Captain Toad would also be really cool, but is highly unlikely. His pickaxe could be his main way of attacking, and perhaps he could use his headlight to stun players in some way. Going about jumping would be interesting since he technically can't jump, so I'm not sure how they'd get around doing that. But they did port Captain Toad Treasure Tracker to the Switch, so to some extent, Nintendo does care about this series. But again, he's not a huge request, so he's going in D tier. And here's a crazy one, King Boo. And you know why he'd be a sick character? Well, he'd be the first one that doesn't walk. Yep, that's right, he just floats above the ground. Okay, I guess Mewtwo floats as well, but King Boo doesn't have legs, so it's still different. And instead of jumping, he just moves up for a little bit. A playstyle with a ghost would be a really fresh idea, but we haven't seen as many requests for him. But if Sakurai will add a plant, they could add King Boo. We'll put him in C tier. And then there's Phoenix Wright. So he has several games on Nintendo consoles, and even a big compilation was released on the Switch. He definitely has a fan base and has already been included in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Personally, I think he'd be absolutely hilarious as a character, and a really fun oddball that Sakurai just throws in for fun. I wasn't sure where to put him on this list, but you know what? Let's make a big play and throw him onto A tier. Now, I feel like I have to do this, but Rabbids. I mean, there is technically Rabbid Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Yoshi now, so they could be swappable costumes just like Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings. I know people don't like the Rabbids, but there's a lot of neat abilities from Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, so they could be interesting characters if based off that game alone. But the whole rabbit thing has really died down substantially, and we haven't seen that many requests for them. So for that, I'll put them in D tier. Now here's a character I truly do not understand. Bandana D. I must be out of the loop or something, but what is it with the request for him? I guess his spear could be an attack, but I just don't get it. I remember him being really fun to play in Smash Flash 2, but Bandana D? I'm sorry, but I'm putting him in D tier. But just know this to those that are fans of him. A plant is a character in Smash Bros, okay? Anything is possible. And then there's Funky Kong. While the requests for the Funk Master are small, I've been seeing them consistently for years now. I think it'd be kinda cool to have him whacking a surfboard around or busting out a Mario Kart bike as an attack, but honestly, he's D tier as well. With Sonic being in Smash Bros, a lot of people want to see Tails and or Knuckles be characters too. These are probably the last characters that I would personally get really hyped for, but I'm not sure how big of a chance they have. Sonic makes sense because he's such an important character in gaming history, but that's not really the case for Tails and Knuckles. Either way, I think they belong in the C tier. It's kind of up in the air how good their chances are. So here's another assist trophy character, Isaac. The Golden Sun games were a huge hit back in the day, and he's been included in Smash Bros to some capacity since Brawl. Like with Waluigi, since he's an assist trophy again, the odds are really slim of him being a character, so he'll go into D tier. I might as well bring up Pyra and Mythra too. While Rex has a better chance of getting in, these two could work easily like Zelda and Sheik used to, where they'd switch places on the fly. Since Sakurai is very fond of Xenoblade 2, I'll put them in A tier, because really, the Xeno 2 reps could be Pyra and Mythra, or Rex. And now we've made it to Chibi Robo. His fate is so sad because Nintendo imploded the series on themselves with Ziplash. Since that game flopped, there's virtually no chance of Chibi Robo being a character. I'm gonna have to put him in F tier. He'd be an extremely cool character to have in the roster, but the likelihood is just so small. I can see it now. Chibi Robo's gonna be the next character just to spite me. While I've never played Tales of Symphonia, LLOYD Irving has been getting loads of requests to be a character. He was a costume in Smash 4, so there has been some acknowledgement for him. The publisher for this series is Bandai Namco, which of course they've been helping a lot with making the Smash Bros games, and they own Pac-Man. This alone increases LLOYD's chances quite a bit, and he's already been on some Nintendo platforms in the past. This might be too high, but I'm gonna put him in A tier. Doom popularized the first-person genre and has really made a comeback over the past few years. While I think he could be an interesting character, it wouldn't really be right to play as him without blood pulverizing off every bullet he shoots. And I know this sounds like a counter-argument to Scorpion, but Scorpion's in fighting games and Doomslayer isn't. Doom is known for its extreme blood and gore, and that being left out of Smash Bros would almost be a disservice to him. But again, it could work because Snake and Joker are characters, but even then, honestly, I gotta put him in D tier. And that is all the main characters that I've been seeing requests for. Now, I know that I've definitely missed a couple of your personal favorites, and if that's the case, let me know who you think deserves a spot in Smash Bros in the comments down below. And that's pretty much it for this video. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and with that, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time.